The Los Angeles Rams just got their win of the season behind an incredible performance by the defense, the greatest punt in NFL history, and we're breaking it all down. I've got my 10 big takeaways. We'll hear from Sean McVey, Matthew Stafford, Kyren Williams. We're doing a full breakdown. That's coming up next on the LA Sports Report. LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LA Sports Report with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, and welcome to the LA Sports Report. My name is Doug McKain. I've covered LA sports for over a decade. 24/7 Sports, Bleach Report, Sports Illustrated, Dodgers Nation. I do NFL radio for Westwood One, but this is the LA Sports Report, already the number one daily LA sports podcast and show on YouTube. And, of course, we talk a lot of Rams. So if you're a Rams fan, you know my work from Locked On Rams. Here on this show, I'll be going to Rams games as a reporter, covering the Rams like I do the Dodgers, asking players questions and coaches questions and doing interviews, and also live breakdowns. We can do highlights here and do live breakdowns. So you'll see a lot of exciting stuff over here. But that is where we're going to start today with your Los Angeles Rams. Unclench those butt cheeks because they get a win that definitely put a lot of stress on us. That definitely wasn't the easiest win to get. It definitely wasn't their best game of the season offensively. But the first takeaway yesterday is that the Rams, they proved something that all great NFL teams ultimately prove if they end up accomplishing something significant, and that is that they can win in multiple ways. You can look at this game and say, oh, wow, the Rams, they only won by 2 points after causing 4 turnovers, after intercepting Sam Darnold 4 times. They won a game where the Seahawks outgained them by 165 yards. Matthew Stafford didn't have a MVP performance. It was the first time in his career that he had completed 55% of his passes and thrown for less than 150 yards and 5 yards per attempt. Statistically, one of his least productive games of his future Hall of Fame career. Puka Nacua, their all-pro to be receiver, less than 100 yards receiving, had another key fumble. And we know that's an area that he needs to clean up. But today they showed that the offense doesn't need to score 30-plus points a game to win, like we've seen them in recent weeks, 34, 35, continuing to just light up the scoreboard. They're capable of doing it. They can do it, but they don't need to do it to beat not just any team, but a really good team, a Seahawks team that by every single metric, you look at PFF, you look at DVOA, 1 or 2 in the NFL heading into this one. And if they need to lean on the defense, they can do it. The Rams, they won this game because their defense created opportunities for the offense. First quarter, you get stuffed in the red zone on 4th down, and that could be a momentum-killing play early in a game. And what does your defense do? You immediately get an interception thanks to Cam Kinchins, and then you're able to convert on the next drive. And Kyren Williams, he runs it in for a 2-yard touchdown, and you're able to take a 7-0 lead early. And you never had a win percentage dropping less than 58.1% at any point in this game. You had an all-time great punt in Ethan Evans, who the Rams, down to a pretty tricky situation considering how well that Seahawks offense was starting to move the football. You force the Seahawks into a situation where it's looking like you could maybe run out the clock with a couple first downs. Instead, the Rams throw it on third down. You get an incomplete pass. You don't take that extra timeout. And then Ethan Evans up 21-19. The Rams punting from their own 49-yard line. He has one of the best punts in the history of the National Football League. He boots one that ends up inside the 1-yard line. And I'm here to tell you that if he does not execute that punt the way he does, the Rams would probably lose this game. Because Myers, he had the leg at 61. It would have won the game for the Seahawks. They could have escaped by a victory. But because you had to go the length of the field, because you had to make things difficult, and you basically force them into a situation where the clock was their enemy, it was a punter who was the player of the game, or one of the players of the game for the Rams. So, look, it was an ugly win, sure, but like Sean McVey said after the game, there are no style points in the NFL. The fact that the Rams proved that they could win a game like this, it says a lot about what this team is capable of, because we all know that this is the best version of a win in a lot of ways, especially when you're not at the end of the season. If they had won this game by 20 or 30 points, you're like, oh, wow, Rams are a juggernaut. Rams, there's no one stopping the Rams, but you win a game that takes you to 8-2. It improves your chances of winning the NFC West to 64%, and then you know there's a lot that you can learn from. There's a lot that you can learn on film that can help you, and your offense is not executing. I think that you got to give credit to the Seattle team, the defense with Lawrence, and the entire front of that Seattle team, Leonard Williams. I mean, they made things so difficult that the tight ends really couldn't stay into 13 personnel, and you just didn't have the execution, right? I mean, Devontae Adams had some key drops. He had just one catch on the day, but the Rams find a way to get a win, and that's all that matters. Here was Sean McVey after the game reacting to it.
Really hats off to our group finding a way. Obviously, that's an excellent football team. They are they get all the credit that they deserve. You could feel they were a physical, tough football team. I can't say enough about what a great job our defense did to be able to get 4 interceptions. Cam Kitchens, Darius Williams, Kobe Durant, stop after stop. What a job by Ethan Evans to be able to pin him inside deep at the end right there, forcing them to have to go the length of the field to even get in position to kick a field goal. And then, man, what a great opportunity for us to be able to learn some things offensively. We started off the game, thought we started off pretty well, ended up only having 3 plays in the second quarter, had some things that we can really learn from in terms of early down efficiency. You get behind the sticks against a great defense like that, but we're never going to apologize for finding ways to be able to win. This is a resilient group. Love what I saw from our defense. I thought special teams made their plays and did an excellent job, with the 5 times that we did have to punt, and there's going to be some learning opportunities that we can have, but I'm grateful to be a part of this team. I love the way that they just stay connected. They stay together. They're never out of the fight. And, defense and special teams did an excellent job and made enough plays offensively. I thought Kyron ran really well. Started off the game, then we kind of got into a lull, had some guys kind of get banged up, but it's a great defense. They did a great job, and we'll learn from it and take it from there. Yeah, you talk, well, I think this, I can just speak for the team. I'm proud of our football team overall. I'm proud of the way that our defense, made the plays that were necessary just to be able to impact and influence the game for us to be able to come out on top with the points. I love the way that they did it. I think the offensive guys are going to be excited about their opportunity to be able to learn and grow. And that's a great group that they went against today, but I know that we can play better. There's certainly some things that, I can do a better job for us collectively, but I'm proud of our football team. We're not going to apologize for finding different ways to win.
Give the defense the game ball as a group. Give them all the credit in the world because they were on the field for what felt like the entire game. Essentially, the entire second quarter, they were on the field. The Rams ran just 3 plays as an offense in the second quarter. You look at time of possession in this one. The Seahawks had the football for 38 minutes. The Rams had the football for 22 minutes, and the time possession really was inflated in the first quarter. Of those minutes, 10 minutes and 30 seconds came in that first quarter alone. So the red zone defense was great as well, holding the Seahawks to 1-4 in that red zone. They didn't score until under 3 minutes. They didn't score a touchdown until under 3 minutes there. That Kenneth Walker touchdown late. And you just look at the production as far as the turnovers go. The reason why the Rams were able to win this game, because they've got some ball hawks. They've got some dogs that have a nose for the football. They just know how to create turnovers. And the Rams were able to score 14 points off of those 4 turnovers. And when you score 21 points in the game, 14 of those 21 come via those turnovers. You got to point to the defense. And they just got a lot of big stops, whether it be third down stops that prevented the Seahawks from going for it on fourth down, from the interceptions, from just making life difficult and forcing those field goals throughout the game. It was just a great day for this Rams defense that showed a lot of heart, a lot of grit. And when they went out on the field to try to get that final stop, it was with 1:41 left to play. And the Seahawks had one timeout. Didn't even matter. The Seahawks, they got themselves in a field goal range, and thankfully Myers missed a kick. But the defense, they were absolutely massive in this one, and they really didn't have that much of a pass rush. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, another big takeaway is the pressure. It did lead to some of those interceptions. The jump throw that Darius Williams picked off, the Cam Kinchin's interception, that was due to some pressure. But 3 of those 4 interceptions, the pressure was a major factor, and you got to give him credit on the first interception by Darnold. Tyler Davis, he was just absolutely bull rushing the center right into Darnold's lap right there, and he makes the errant throw, and that leads to a pick on Kobe Durant's interception. Byron Young, he was coming around on a twist, on a stunt, and he had just exploded out of space. And the 4th pick was created by a Kobe Turner pressure, and Kinchin's coming in on a blitz. So, yeah, I mean, give credit to Chris Shula, but it was the pressure that really led to those picks. But there was a lot of plays where the Seahawks, they had a lot of time to drop back. The Rams had a 28.9% pressure rate, so it was timely pressure. And you guys know I like my defenses like I like a good shower head. Lots of coverage and lots of pressure. And that's what we saw in this one, that it wasn't a lot of pressure, but it did come at very opportunistic times. So the defense, you want to see them just be a little more consistent, especially when you're kind of going up against a Seattle team where you know the key to beating Darnold and having him see ghosts out there was that. And stopping Darnold the way he was, because a lot of talk, Sam Darnold should be the MVP, not Matthew Stafford, right? I think it was fitting that the Rams were in their midnight mode alternate uniforms, because we know that at the stroke of midnight is when you turn into a pumpkin. And Sam Darnold turned into a pumpkin against the Rams, and the Rams just make life heck for him. So give them a lot of credit. The defense was outstanding. Cam Kinchin certainly deserving a game ball. But here's more from Sean McVey.
Oh, they were effective, and that's why I say stats are for losers, because they affected and influenced the game in a huge way. Obviously, Sam is a great quarterback, but he was getting off of his spot. I thought a lot of the pressure that we did get is what led to some of the decisions where our guys ended up making some great plays to be able to get those 4 interceptions throughout the course of the day. Really proud of that group. I think the defensive staff, Chris Shula, defensive coaches, can't say enough about the job. We have been excellent in the red zone, and I'm really proud of that group. But I thought our front had a big impact on that game, Dennis, even if the sacks didn't necessarily show up.
Stats are for losers, Sean. Really, I feel absolutely attacked and offended, because no one loves stats more than me. But what he means by that is, look, I think he means old school stats. I think he means counting stats like sacks that used to be a big indicator of how effective a pass rusher is. But this defense answered a lot of questions. Heading into this one, it was, the Seahawks, the most explosive passing game in the NFL, was Sam Darnold completing 70% of his passes. There were more than 10 yards, and Jackson Smith-Njigba being the offensive player of the year, potentially, him and Jonathan Taylor in that mix. But you saw the schemes of Chris Shula in that secondary just making him confused and being in spots to make plays, and that's kind of what this Rams team did. They didn't get beat by explosive plays, and they forced defenses to have to work their way down the field in a methodical way. And for a Seahawks offense that was just living on explosives, forcing Darnold to make mistakes is the way to win football games and when you're playing him, because the more opportunities you have for him to make mistakes, the higher the chances that he will, right? The more plays you run for him, the more chances that he's going to make a mistake. And the Rams secondary, they are the biggest reason, along with Ethan Evans and the pressure, that they were able to win this game. And also, I'll throw in Kyron Williams in there as well. But Cam Kinchins, 2 picks against Sam Darnold, Kobe Durant, Darius Williams, both with 1 apiece. And the one that we saw Durant get in yesterday's game was very similar to the one that we saw him get against the Vikings in the playoffs. And that tells you that he's processing information, that he's downloading information, like my good friend Michael Brockers likes to say. And for a Seattle offense that came into this game as the best in the league when it comes to explosive plays, the Rams held Sam Darnold to 3 of 12 on passes of 10 or more yards through the air. Emmanuel Forbes had an incredible play on a ball, forcing a pass breakup that prevented a Rashid Shaheed touchdown. And Shaheed's going to get a step on most in this league, and it was Emmanuel Forbes using that length and athleticism to knock one away. That was just an incredible play too. And I think just the secondary as a whole, they showed up, they answered the bill, and give them all the credit in the world. And when it comes to Sam Darnold, Darnold has been a really good quarterback last couple of seasons. Even when they lost to the Rams last year, Darnold wasn't even bad in that game. The playoffs, though, that was the game where Darnold was sacked 9 times. And in this one, he did not get sacked. And he came into this one, too, having 6 interceptions all year, and he goes 4 against the Rams, getting into double digits. So that was a major performance against Sam Darnold. And you look at how they made life difficult against him. It was very impressive. Now, I will say, what was that play at the end where Shaheed got the timeout? That's at the referee's discretion. But I guarantee you, if that kick goes through, we're going to be furious in Rams land that that clock did not go to 0. Here was Sean McVey talking about that final play.
That was unusual.
Yeah, it was. You know what? I think John Hussey always does a great job. He said the guy gave himself up, and so that left 1 second off. And I'm not too upset about it because they missed the kick. So, all right.
There you go. They missed the kick. So, hey, the history is written by the victors, right? We don't care. If you lose, then you can agonize. But since they won, you're feeling fine about it. And then here was that Sean McVey victory speech in that Rams locker room. It's always electric in there when you get a big win like that.
How about that? Where's D. Will at, man? D. Will got one. D. Will, great job. Where's the land shark? Awesome job right there. You know what, man? I'm so proud of you guys, all right? Hey, how about this? 1,000th career catch right there. Yeah. Devontae Adams. Hey, let me tell you this. This is a great example of being able to pick one another up. Hey, how about Ethan Evans putting it on the Hey, never take for granted finding a way. Just being able to be so resilient defensively. What a blessing offensively for us to be able to learn from this and continue to grow. But man, this group finding different ways to be able to win. Can't say enough about it. Cam Kitchens, get one, baby!
Love it. All right, let's talk some Matthew Stafford. Heading into this one, the odds-on favorite to win the MVP, and he's been outstanding this year. And today, you look at it and you look back at yesterday's game and you say, look, he did make some great throws like he always does. But he also missed some throws. The Higbee throw on 4th down in the first quarter, that's one that he has to make. And then he also misses, or that was where he missed Davis Allen there on 4th down. And that was just a low throw, ones he got to kind of get get settled, and he has to just set his feet and just execute that throw. And he was a little off, and the rhythm of that offense was just off as a whole. And that's where I always think of Sean McVay's quote, "The enemy has to say," and that defense is legit. They're really good. The offensive line, I look at the tackles in this one, Alec Jackson, Rob Havenstein, they struggled in protection. Matthew Stafford, though, 15 of 28, 130 yards in this one. First time in his career that he's actually won a game where he's completed less than 60% of his passes, and he's thrown for less than 150 yards. He did throw a touchdown. That takes his season touchdown mark up to 27, so 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So it's not like he hurt his MVP candidacy that much. He didn't strengthen it a whole lot, but it looks still no interceptions, and that's the biggest thing. You cannot lose that turnover battle. You can't turn the football over, and I think that, look, sometimes we always see it's Matthew Stafford throwing punches, taking big swings, and that's the reason why they win or lose games. I think that really is a positive, is the fact that you don't need him to be Superman. Even though he was wearing that cape on Sunday, you don't need him to play like an MVP every single game to win. If that was the case, that would be a concern, right? You don't want that. You don't want to have him be the Bugatti at the trailer park meme, right? You got other nice cars in that garage. You got some Rolls Royces, some Lambos, some Ferraris, some G-Wagons, some Range Rovers, some PT Cruisers. You got all kinds of great cars in there. So, yeah, that's a big thing. Another thing, too, just kind of the overall offense is the talk about 13 personnel. That was what we talked about a lot heading into the week. And it was pretty obvious in this one that you were not going to be able to execute with 13 personnel as much just because of how good that Seattle defense is and the fact that the Seahawks, they were matching that 13 personnel nickel. They had a lot of success against it. Kyron Williams had some big runs early on, a 30-yard run to set up that first drive that ended up in a miss on 4th down, but the defense for Seattle really kind of dictated that. And against the Seahawks on Sunday, the Rams, they were in 13 personnel 36% of the time, and while they were in 13 personnel, the average is 2.7 yards per play. So credit to Sean McVay for switching and adjusting to going to 11 personnel, and in 11 personnel, the Rams were averaging 6.3 yards per play. So we'll still see that wrinkle, I think, moving forward. It'll just be an adjustment, and I think it's going to have to do a lot with the blocking, and you're starting to see teams adjust. But the truth is that most teams don't have the personnel that the Seahawks do have. So McVay, he was smart to adjust off that. And like Matthew Stafford said after the game, it was just a weird game for that Rams offense.
Well, it was a strange game in that regard. Like, I feel like in the first half, I don't know, I think we had 25 plays, and I think we might have had 12 of them in, like, the normal field. You know, it was kind of like a bunch of red zone plays, and that's great because our defense was getting turnovers, getting us, short fields. But it was a little bit of a strange game momentum-wise for us to get out there and kind of see what was going on. And then we didn't sustain drives long enough there in the fourth quarter or really in the second half to kind of also get into a rhythm. So, yeah, they did a nice job getting us off the field, on 3rd down in some of those instances. Just kind of a strange game and found a way to win it.
And that's all that matters, right? And I think the other big takeaway from his performance is it looks like you took a little bit of a step back as far as the chemistry that we need to see from him and Davante Adams. Davante Adams in this game just with that one touchdown catch. And I look at Puka Nacua being the one guy that really was consistently productive offensively. He had 7 catches, almost 80 yards, but no other Rams wide receiver or player had more than 2 catches. Adams was targeted 8 times at just 1 catch, and he also had a massive drop there on 3rd down that would have extended the drive, would have helped with the rhythm of the offense. And outside of the red zone, just you have not seen a lot of production and consistency from Matthew Stafford and Davante Adams. So that's their WR2. That's a guy that has been a star in this league. And yes, the touchdown numbers are there, but for this offense to truly realize its full potential, you need to see more from Davante Adams outside of just the red zone. So look, I mean, this is another reason why Tutu Atwell is important, right? I mean, he's someone that is another option. He can take the top off of defense. And there's a reason why the Rams have used more 12 and 13 personnel is because they don't love their current third receiver, right? You haven't seen a lot of Jordan Whittington. You haven't seen that much Xavier Smith and Mumfield and guys like that. So you need a third option. You also need Devonta Adams to step up in a big way and be the guy that we know he's capable of being. A very positive note, though, is the running game. And a couple thoughts here. One, too much Blake Corum, especially in the red zone. Give that football to Kyren Williams, okay? I understand you want to have a two-headed monster to keep Kyren fresh, help him avoid injury, and the fact you drafted Blake Corum out of Michigan in the third round, but Kyren's a star. He's a top 10 running back in this league. You can't say the same thing about Blake Corum. He has not a made man. He hasn't proven himself to do just that. And Kyren, I mean, he just sees the field better. He hits those holes. He hits the holes, hits them hard, and he makes things happen. And he had 3 explosive runs, and that's not something that Kyren is necessarily known for. He was averaging 12.7 yards per carry at one point during this game. So the Rams, they almost were 0-2 in the red zone because of Blake Corum. And Kyren Williams, thankfully, on fourth down, they put him in the game, and he was able to find the end zone. But Blake Corum averages 1.2 yards per carry, had a 25% success rate. Kyren, a 33.3% success rate. But when it mattered, he was able to just have some powerful runs. The emotion's always there at Kyren that you like too. And I think that moving forward, less Blake, more Kyren. I know you want to try to think big picture here, but you still got to win these football games right now. And I think that we saw too much Blake and not enough Kyren on Sunday. But here was him after the game, and you love to hear him talk about the leadership too and just kind of emerging as one of those guys for this team.
Oh, it's us or nobody. You know, that's kind of what it feels like. It's kind of what it felt like, and we kind of know, like, as an offense, when we're together, when we're 11 as one, you know, especially in those situations, because Matthew will walk into the huddle and be like, we got to get this. Like, his eyes will go wide. Like, he looks like he looks serious. So once he says that, and once you hear once we hear one of our leaders like really motivate us to go get a job done, you know, it kind of makes it easier. You know, I believe in the guys up front, the tight ends, the receivers, and you know, and myself to be able to go get that 1 yard, that 2 yard, but whatever it is, you know, I'm just makes you feel good that Coach McVey trusts us enough to go do that. Yeah. It's different. You know, it's different. Obviously, this is my first time being in a huddle with an NFL quarterback, and I'm very super blessed that it's Matthew Stafford that I get to learn from and get to be around, and just to be able to see how he commands the huddle. Not only the huddle, but the pre-snap and then the after-snap, and the things that he's able to do with dictating defenders, you know, being able to read coverages, and just being able to be that person that's out there on the field that, you know, if we asked him to do anything, he really could. But just knowing that we always got his back and, you know, continue just to stay 11 as one, that's kind of what he harps on. And, you know, just being able to be blessed enough to go out there and play hard.
I love his passion. I love the fact that he not only wants to help this team run the football, but he's a great blocker. He's a great leader. I know he's had some fumble issues, but he's really starting to improve, and I don't think he's maxed out as a player, and that's definitely something exciting. So another thing, though, is the game balls. And the game ball for this one, I'm giving one to Ethan Evans. I'm also giving one to Cam Kinchins. I mean, Cam Kinchins, this was the Cam Kinchins game, and also the rest of the secondary, but Cam in particular, he was just so important to this one, just flipping the game early when the Seahawks are trying to get early momentum. So I'm giving Cam Kinchins the LA Sports Report game ball for the big win. And you got to really feel good about a guy that's worked this hard, that's put in the time, and he certainly deserves it. Now, another thing that was interesting was the whole Cooper Kupp angle. And here was Puka and Cooper Kupp reuniting after the game. And it was cool to see. Jersey exchanges. Hey, it's definitely like, hey, man, this is my ex. It was time to move on. I don't think there's any bad blood there. He was getting emotional on the field too. And we know that it was probably Puka that ended up getting that jersey. But yeah, it was weird to see. It definitely was weird to see. It was like Yeah, man, that's like our ex right there. And it was a strange feeling for sure. But on the same note, hey, we wish him nothing but the best. But I think the true Cooper Kupp moment's going to come after he retires and he's at SoFi Stadium and you're retiring his jersey number. Because I think absolutely, I don't care if he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, which he will not. Hey, he's definitely going to be someone who deserves to get that Rams number retired. But big win for the Rams. And, hey, that is a team that is not easy to beat. I mean, Davante Adams, he didn't have his best game. He really didn't, but got to give him credit too. Want to shout him out for just continuing to rack up touchdowns and just climb up that list as far as overall career trajectory. And, hey, he's now just the 5th player ever to record at least 10 receiving touchdowns in 7 different seasons. His last one right there, we're going to see more from Davante Adams. I'm very, very confident in that. Another quick one, another quick update on Quint Lake's elbow. It's not encouraging. This is not a good injury update. And this is from the Athletic. Sean McVey said Lake was a big loss, and he said you don't replace a Quinn Lake. If he's out, it's obviously a big loss, and we love him. So he hasn't given a timetable, but he did go out. He wasn't able to return. McVey didn't have an update after the game, but he did say today that he's going to miss, quote, a little bit of time. He's set to have an MRI, which is big. He said that Dr. Neil Elitrot, the team doctor, is discussing the injury. So doesn't sound very encouraging. The Rams do have depth. They have Cam Curl, Cam Kitchens. You've got Jalen McCullough, Josh Wallace. But Lake is really a slot corner. And the Rams, they don't have a ton of depth there. You got Forbes and Darius Williams are the outside guys, and Durant, he's been better on the boundary than he is in the slot. So this would be a huge loss. It really was. So we'll find out more later. But now let's get to the breakdown. And I'm going to leave you with this. It's the highlights from the game. A little breakdown action with highlights. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and drop a comment down below. But we'll see you next time. And remember, LA, there's a lot of great cities in the world. Lots of great sports cities in the world, but LA is the city of champions. Rams Seahawks Week 11 NFC West showdown. Terrence Ferguson in motion. Matthew Stafford hands the ball off to Kyren Williams, breaks a tackle, stiff arms a man, and is pushed out of bounds after a 30-yard run. Rams in their midnight mode unis, and on 3rd and 6. Stafford in the shotgun finds Kyren Williams for a 5-yard reception short of the first down. And Sean McVay elects to go for it on 4th and 1. Higbee in motion. Play action. Stafford can't make the throw. The Rams turn the ball over inside the red zone. And first down for the Seahawks. Sam Darnold back to throw, and Cam Kitchens, he picks him off. Darnold knocks him out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Rough afternoon for Sam Darnold. And then 4th and goal. Stafford hands the ball to Kyren Williams. He punches it in, a 2-yard touchdown for Kyren Williams. The Rams take advantage of the turnover. Higbee in motion, hits a block. And then Kyren just knifes his way in to put the Rams up 7-0 early. First and 10. Darnold play action. Finds Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's brought down by Hugh Lake near the 50. And then here's more JSN. Stiff arms a man. Curl knocks him out. And then 3rd and 8. Darnold back to throw. And Cooper Kupp appears to have caught it and run into the end zone. He's got the football up, thinks he had a big play. But that ball bounces right into Cooper Kupp. Kobe Durant in there on the coverage. Always makes me laugh when guys actually think that they're not going to overturn this. And here's a 57-yard attempt by Myers. It's up. It's through the uprights. The Seahawks get on the board. Here's Matthew Stafford, 1st and 20. Screen to Higbee. He's got blockers. And Tyler Higbee, he makes the grab. And here's Stafford. Finds Puka Nacua. The Rams' leading receiver. Little spin there, breaks the tackle. 1st and 10, 3 to play. Stafford play action. Dumps it off to Colby Parkinson. The Rams were in 13 personnel to start for a good amount, and they kind of dropped off in 4th and 1. And another big gasher from Kyren Williams, and he's brought down at the 1. Explosive runs for Kyren Williams in this one. And then 2nd and goal. And Devontae Adams, another red zone touchdown. The Rams go up 17-14-3. And Devontae Adams, he calls that his move right on Reek Woolen. And that little step back there by Stafford kind of turns his back. And here's Darnold. Pitches it to Zach Charbonnet, the Bruin. And he's brought down after a 1st down. 2nd and 6, 11:40 to play. Sam Darnold. He's got his tight end. Barner moving the sticks. Then the 1st and 5. Sam Darnold. Play action. Rolls out. He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba. This Seahawks offense starting to cook, but this is where the Rams defense stepped up all day. Darnold in the shotgun. Pocket collapses. He rolls out. He fires it back of the end zone on 3rd and 8, and the Seahawks have to settle for another field goal, this time a 30-yard attempt. It's up. It's good. A 14-6 lead for LA. And here's Matthew Stafford with the football. Blitz, pressure. Forces an errant throw. Just 3 plays there in the second half for this Rams offense. And here's Darnold under center. Hands the ball off to Kenneth Walker. He gets a big chunk. Seattle committing to the run game, but the Rams not with heavy packages. Allow them to stay in their coverage. And what a catch there by Jackson Smith and Jigba. A one-handed, left-handed grab. 3rd and 5. Darnold. Another pass complete to his tight end Barner. 3rd and goal from inside the 5. Darnold sees more pressures. Kobe Turner. He has to throw it away. And the Rams defense, they force another field goal. They held the Seahawks to 1 for 4 in the red zone. And Myers, he was able to hit most of his kicks today. 14-9 lead for the Rams. Halftime, close one. And 3rd quarter action. Sam Darnold back to pass. He's hit. He's picked. Another interception. The land shark, Kobe Durant. Great play on the football. The pressure causing that interception. And here's Matthew Stafford finding Puka Nacua, and he coughs it up. Puka fumbles it. The Seahawks recover. A much-needed turnover for Seattle. Darnold under center. Play action. Rolls out. Finding his man. There is the newly acquired Shaheed from the Saints. And here's Darnold. He's got his guy tight end. Another 1st down for Seattle. The offense outgained the Rams by 165 yards. Here's Darnold. Great tackle there by Kobe Durant. That forces another kick. This one up, this one good. And we've got a 2-point game. The Rams up 14-12. Here's Matthew Stafford, the gun. Finds Puka Nacua. He's got it. Great grab by the Pro Bowl receiver. Here's Matthew Stafford. And he flings one. And Devontae Adams can't come up with the catch. Just one catch for Devontae. There's another drop there. JSN in motion. Darnold under center. Play action. Steps to his left. He's got his tight end. And then 3rd and 1. And a big play here. The Rams get the stuff on 3rd and 1. And you're thinking maybe McDonald goes for it. Doesn't. Stafford's got the ball back. 2nd 11. Finds Puka Nacua. Really the only consistent weapon for them on the receiving side today. And Stafford from the 3rd and 15. He's got Puka Nacua. Little screen. Tumbles forward. But he's short of the first down. The Rams punt it. Here's Darnold under center. Steps to the pocket. Another interception. His 2nd of the day. Cam Kinchins just reading the eyes of Sam Darnold. That's just a bad decision. And here's Matthew Stafford on the 3rd and 1. Hands the ball off. And another nice gainer by Kyron Williams. And play action. He's got Colby Parkinson. He makes a man miss. He's into the end zone. The Rams score another touchdown off a Seattle turnover. They take a 21-12 lead. Here's Colby Parkinson. Stiff arm. Makes the man miss. Fights his way in. The Rams up 21-12. Here's Darnold finding Kenneth Walker. He's down the sideline. 10:55 left to go in the 4th. Here's Darnold. And he squirts the pressure. Jump pass. And that is intercepted by Darius Williams. He makes the play. And here's Matthew Stafford on the 3rd and 6. He can't make a completion. Don't take a timeout. And then here's Darnold. He finds Kenneth Walker again. And he's getting chunks. And this Seattle offense was moving. Bend but don't break for Chris Shula in this one. And Emmanuel Forbes, he gets called for the pass interference with under 5 to play. Then here's Darnold. He's got Cooper Kupp. Darnold is shotgun. Finds Jackson Smith and Jigba. He cuts inside. Looking for extra yardage. And another scoring opportunity. 1st and goal for Seattle. Darnold rolls right. Kupp catches it. Inside the 1-yard line. Hands the ball off. And Kenneth Walker scores the first Seahawks touchdown with under 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Landman gets there. Not enough space. Got to give to this Rams defense. Kept out of the end zone most of the day. At some point, they were going to get in. 21-19 lead. Little jet sweep handoff. Puka Nacua. Nice gain on 1st down. Nice play design shotgun for Stafford. 3rd and 10. They don't run the football. Another incomplete pass intended for Devontae. And how about the punt of the year? Ethan Evans. Inside the 1. bounces up right on that white there. This is as great of a punt as you're ever going to see. This is as close to a game-winning punt as you're ever going to see. Rams up 21-19. Darnold trying to manufacture a game-winning drive. Tick, 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 tick. Shout out to Chris Berman. JSN, another first down. Clock's winding down, 21-19. 22 seconds left to go. Sam Darnold finds JSN. He steps out of bounds to clock it. Then with 5 seconds left to go, Sam Darnold, he finds Shaheed. Gives him the timeout 1 second. Then 61-yard attempt for Myers. Kick is up. And it's no good. The Rams survive. They hold on to win. F yeah. F yeah. That's what Matthew Stafford was saying. And he just pushes it